Cuspers, welcome back to Deep Heights. Thank you for joining me. My name is Deborah. I have a microphone now. Hopefully my volume is better. I have, I wanted to apologize for the delay in getting out a reading. I've been working a lot and I reread the Wheel of Time series, so that took me a couple of weeks and I was really focused on reading that and being in that world, which is so fantastic. I hope that you've been well. And again, I always appreciate y'all's comments and reaching out to me, and suggestions are always welcome. I would love to do more readings. It's always a matter of finding time and energy to sit down and do this when I'm so tired. Okay, so I'm going to do a Lost and Found reading, and I have the bones of the spread laid out. I'm using the Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle deck to do the Lost and Found, and it's really interesting here. And I lay them out with because it takes sometimes a little bit to get the cards out of this deck. This deck is slow to speak. I see a great deal of maturity having happened for you. That what's lost, we have the Maiden, Luathis the Wild, and Caitlin the Sylph. And in some ways, I feel a little bit like it's a loss of innocence, that you're no longer as reckless as you've been in the past, as quick to change course. But it's come at a price. I think that it's been painful and difficult. Rites of passage that we go through, experiences that are difficult. I see the Maiden here. It comes up as a child. Maybe it's a loss of children, or the ability to have children, or passing the age of having children. Infertility here. A change in sexual energy as well. A maturation. And that could be good or bad depending on your own personal preference. Definite maturity, though, and that's always good. What's gained is we have Lace, the Moon's daughter, with the topsy-turvets. And I think that this is this calm, grounded energy, that how this character is here looking upon the topsy-turvets, which is this change. And as we grow older and we have more experience and we gain wisdom, we're less likely to react to every situation and every whim. And you have conversations with people. For me personally, I'm real hot-headed, so and when I was younger, I would be much more prone and quick to argument, and I would want to argue with everybody or take everything as a personal offense, when most of it isn't personal. It's just people going about their lives, things like that are about maturity, that you're less likely to respond because you are able to see people better and read their intentions and kind of understand them more, to see where people are coming from. And also, no matter where you are on the path, life is going to throw you curveballs, and being able to appreciate them, knowing when to swing and knowing when to not swing, I think is important. On the bottom of the deck, we have Tome, the poet. And at the split, we have the Singer of Intuition. They kind of laid like this, though, the way I had them laid out. I hope you can hear me, y'all. But that inner knowing, feeling your way through life, and not reacting your way through life. Below the Singer of Intuition is the Singer of Healing. As I'm saying, I feel like it's maybe you feel like something has been snatched from you and you're not quite ready to give up your childishness and childish things. And I think that can go no matter how old you are. You know, that we all have ways that we can improve and grow and gain wisdom. But there's a calm here that I even feel sitting in this energy that's like sage-like for you. That the things that are coming up for you are going to be difficult. And you're going to come up against a pitcher that's really good. And this guy, it throws amazingly, you know, and he's got you psyched out over there on the mound, and it's intimidating, and you don't know what's coming. He might be better than you, more experienced, but you can't stand there with the bat in your hand and let him psych you out and be afraid. You have the experience and the wisdom to deal with it and then knock the fucking ball out of the park, you know. Hey, that's what I feel for you, that it is going to be challenging, and maintaining your calm. I was just saying how I was reading Wheel of Time, you know, finding the flame and the void, the nothing, the oneness, to deal with life's difficulties. Man or woman, we all face them. Different situations, different times. It's difficult, but if you're going to get through whatever is coming, you're going to have to do it from a place that's very calm and intuitive, and listening and feeling, you know, that oneness where you feel, you know, kind of getting into that Scorpio, that 8th house energy that's very perceptive, because Libran energy is very airy, it's very intelligent, and you have that, but accessing this 8th house scorpionic emotional energy and bringing the two together in this calm. Really interesting. Let's get an animal energy and see who's with you. You know, I also feel like an emptiness, but not an emptiness of loss, a feeling of space. That, how, saying about the flame and the void, you know, finding that place where there's calm and space, and it's a nothingness that's full, if that makes sense. That it's full from within. That you're unshakable and unmovable. Because even in the little day-to-day things of life, we have difficulties, and then we have the larger scale things of the world, and then we have the spiritual aspects of, you know, the war for our minds and our spirits and our souls. That we can't be shaken, that you must not be shaken. You must stand. Standing, you know, said it, you know, things my dad taught me, that you don't have to stand tall, but you have to stand, even if you stand alone. Who's with my cusper? Who's with my cusper, please? The lizard and the unicorn, the flame and the void. Think of the King of Wands energy here, this Aries energy, waiting for the sun. And here we have the moon. Calm. But this is an energy that also is kind of skittish. This is like a baby dragon. But they're quick. My dog, he chases lizards out in the garden. And he never catches one, but he certainly tries. Show me this lizard energy. Like not quite a dragon, you know, that you feel, maybe you feel small, you know, like there are no more dragons and you're just an ancestor. The dragons are your ancestors, you know, and now, yeah, a feeling of inadequacy, but it isn't, because it's within you, you know, this unicorn energy, I feel. Scorpio, you could have moon in the 8th, moon in Cancer, moon in the 4th, moon in a water house for sure, or a water sign. Your imagination. What do you imagine yourself to be? You know, when we read stories of heroes, they never think themselves heroes until the opportunity arises that they must do. They must make a choice on how to act. Even in Lord of the Rings, right, in the movie, and Sam was talking about what it means to be a hero, and the stories of old that they had plenty of chances to give up, but they didn't. They kept going in the face of danger when something is so much larger than them, because they were hobbits. They're hobbits, so small, and changed the age. You know, defeated Sauron with help. They weren't alone, but we're all feel alone when you're faced with shadow and evil and darkness and change. You have help, you know. Don't feel inadequate. You have the dragon within you. Something pure. This unicorn energy is very pure. Has endless depth. Yeah. And even we have the lace, the moon's daughter, this feminine energy of receptivity that you're able to receive no matter what it is. You know, you're like, I might just be a lizard, but my ancestors were dragons. You know? I do sense it's almost like you don't feel prepared or capable. Or that's how it wants you to feel. Of course it wants you to feel that way. Or you might not feel physically strong enough, but you have it spiritually. That's where it matters. They can take your body, they can take that, but they can't take your soul unless you give it to them. The High Priestess, the Hierophant. You have great, I was going to first say you have a lot of feminine protection, and you have masculine. You're protected in the heavens by the mother and the father, however that would be. You have guardians. I want to say too that they're protecting you, but they're also protecting themselves. Like, you're not going to get past to the next their test. You're being tested spiritually. We're always being tested spiritually. If this is a school where we come to create, to learn, to grow, about maturity, because these are very mature cards. These are very mature characters. They're not going to be out of hand. They're not going to be crying in a corner. You think the High Priestess or the Hierophant is going to be intimidated or afraid? because somebody is bigger. No, they have great spiritual knowledge, power, magic. And not to go and dominate over others, but for protection. Very learned. The Hierophant energy is very learned. If you don't read, you should. Whatever interests you, history, science fiction, fantasy. A lot of knowledge there to learn. Heroes that scarcely exist in our world today. It's like, I want to ask you, do you want to sit among them, the heroes? What else for my cusper, please? Show me what else. What's going on? The Three of Wands. Vision. Seven of Cups. Confusion. Needing to set a goal and reach it. Finding it. This maturity. Seeing the fruits of your labor, of your will. This is a card of Aries. Of will. Your opposite for Libra. The Emperor. Sovereignty, authority, dominion. Unmovable, unshakable in the face of any foe. This is how the Emperor looks at his foes to come and try and break him down. He just looking in amusement, seeing it for what it is, folly. Continuing on with what it is that you're doing. Not being led astray or confused. Smoke and mirrors before you. Who's my cusper dealing with? I don't feel like this is a specific person. I feel like this is a situation. I mean, of course it could be a specific person, but I don't feel like it's a lover or something like that. I feel like this is part of your growth. This is part of your soul growth, your spiritual growth to get to that next level. You know, even I don't necessarily want to say level, but kind of, but we're going to talk about it like that. To move beyond. That it's time for you to move beyond. Shed some skin. Step into your new role. Queen of Wands. The Lovers. Making the choice. Accepting who you are. This is the card of Gemini. Of walking down the right path. We had the Seven of Cups here with the Three of Wands, something to confuse you on your way, but the Queen of Wands is not confused. This is an energy that is not confused. The Queen of Wands energy knows what she wants. She's very clear. She goes and she gets it. She's very motivated. Very intense. Sexual energy here as well. The energy of creation. Creating with the mind as well. Bringing it together, the void, the clarity of mind, the alchemy of the mind. It's calling you, it's calling to you to take it up. We have the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords. Judgment on the bottom of the deck. periods of great, great psychological turmoil. The mind prison. Fear is the mind killer. You've been intimidated far too long. You've cowered for far too long. You've let something make you feel less than for far too long. In the end, it's you are the one who has driven those swords in, because you didn't put up, you believed that you deserved it somehow. You accepted punishment when you shouldn't have. And it wants you here. It wants to keep you here because it feeds off of that energy. Evil. It wants you to despair. It wants you to despair because it keeps you there. You keep yourself there. The Eight of Swords is your own ignorant mind, your ignorance of it, inability to see, to get out of it. Had the Lover's card. It's a clear mind. Gemini energy. I don't agree with other readers. The Lover's card isn't about romance. It's a card of Gemini. Mutable air. About decisions. About taking... It's about taking decisions, but it's the alchemy of mind that you must draw upon with your own will. Rebirth. Fire of the mind. There's the Emperor. You know, he howls at the moon, calling it down. Very brave energy. You know, with the Judgment card and the Emperor, reawakening that fire within, finding courage to stand alone. I feel like your cheerleader, you know. I've needed one. I've had to be my own. I know how difficult this is. We all experience this. What's the challenge here for my cusper, please? What's the challenge? Make sure my microphone is there. What's the challenge, please, for my cusper? Four of Pentacles reversed. Powerlessness. And the Ace of Wands reversed. Wow. It's like feeling broken, having no home, destitute. So behind the Ace of Wands is the Two of Cups, the Death card reversed, the Lover's card upright, the Ten of Swords reversed, the Ten of Cups. You've suffered great loss, which has forced you into maturity, knowing what that is. And it's easy to get lost in despair and sadness. I know how it feels to... Pain can get to where it feels good, and we revel in our ability to handle it, to not be broken. But we must step beyond, step out of it. Stop fighting and let go. and be. You feel very powerless. Unlovable, unloved. It's like you need, saying that you needed to access the emotions of the 8th house, Scorpio here, but here the card of Scorpio is reversed, but the air is upright here. We're talking about this Gemini energy. It is like the topsy-turvys, that your scales, and it's like being flipped constantly from one to the other. I hate to use, because every reader talks about the scales of Libra, but I feel like you're going to face a lot of challenges, and you are facing them, and I think that you may continue to face them for some time until this lesson is learned, and really needing to pull from within, that no matter what they take from you materially, that they can't take from you emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. They can't take those parts of your soul, your knowing, your history, your heritage, your ancestors, your ancestry. If there's a devolution in your DNA, right? Becoming a lizard from a dragon, you can still call upon that somehow from in your coolness and in your mind, that it's still there, lying dormant. There's something I feel like I'm missing from the lizard. And when that happens, it's usually because it's specifically for you. And you go and look it up and you find it for yourself. Lizard, oh, lizard energy. Show me a little more, please. So we have the 5 of Wands and the 6 of Wands coming out. Let's see what's on the bottom. The Prince of Wands reversed. Out of difficulty, victory. It's like, which one are you going to have? It's behind the Prince of Wands. The 9 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles reversed, the Ace of Swords reversed. But we have the 6 of Pentacles and the Prince of Swords upright. Your reaction is going to determine your future and your situation and how you're going to be. Which one do you choose? Do you choose the 5 of Swords? Or do you choose, ooh, interesting, it's the 5 of Wands. Do you have defeat, strife, difficulty, struggle, assertion of wills against others? Or do you dominate over it? Do you handle it? Victory, Mars and Leo. No, this is Jupiter and Leo. When I feel like I lose the thread, feel like this is like this is where the enemy wants you, whatever it is, unsuccessful, without hope, without clarity, without truth, without the ability to move forward. Topsy-turvy, fucked up, a shovel short of a wagon load, you know? This is going to be difficult. It is difficult. It's meant to be difficult. So we have ostentation and loss. Enterprise. It's like if you continue to fight it childishly, you know, it'll just be death. You know, and nothing comes from that death. You have to be crafty, clever. There are acorns here to continue to grow, that it comes from you. Jupiter and Aries. Putting away childish things, childish reactions. This is super specific. I don't think everybody's going to want to have heard this message. Coming to meet. Gate 44. It's interesting imagery here. Think of the image is distorted. Like that's how you feel spiritually, keeping you in the dark, distorted. You know, there's the moon. There's all these layers, a distorted understanding of yourself, you know, with this coming to meet. What are you seeing about yourself? And it's like whatever you're meeting, whatever foe, whatever challenge, it's like a mirror, and this is what you think that you see, but you're more than this. You aren't distorted, fragmented. You know, it looks like it could just fall apart. Let's get some advice for you. Advice from my cusper, please. Star. It's a breath of fresh air, clean, a clear pool. the mind that flows. You know, this came up in the last reading with the mind of the water. And the movement, the things that are unexpected, this is the card of Uranus, the rebel that goes their own way, unafraid. The unexpected, there's a fool energy here, a knowing, crafty, enterprise. Advice for my cusper, please. The Ace of Swords and the Hierophant. The Fool on the bottom of the deck. Knowing who you are. Clarity. Wielding that sword in strength and with truth. Going your own way. Taking the risk. Being unafraid. Because you have the power within you. In your history. Stability. Liberty. Freedom. Free yourself, Cusper. Face your enemy. Don't stand down. And don't be afraid. Because you have the clarity within you when you find the flame in the void. You have access to that. And you'll start that new journey to that next beyond. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Let's close. You aren't alone. New day. Sorry, I just want to make sure these aren't. Unlimited possibilities is on top of this stack, this tree. Standing strong, rooted, your ancestors. Listening, feeling, grounded. Card 11, new day. Let the new day dawn upon you. Stand tall, stand bright.